The greatest core purpose of this video is to show you and demonstrate to you that you have an amazing abundance and richness in yourself, always, already. That's what I want to say from the viewpoint of the great Buddhist text called the Lotus Sutra. Question to you: have you done a battle against the AI? I did it last night and I won. I have a PhD degree in philosophy of religions, and especially with the focus of the philosophical interpretation of the text called the Lotus Sutra. And I typed in, how is mindfulness found in the Buddhist great scripture Lotus Sutra? And I had my answer. And compare my answer with the answer from the AI, ChatGPT, which I use oftentimes for a variety of administrative tasks. But the answer I got from myself was this: mindfulness in the Buddhist context is to be aware, to become aware. The original term is sati, to be conscious of how you are feeling, how you are thinking, what you are doing. Awareness. But in the Lotus Sutra, it's no longer just to be aware of what's happening inside you. Rather, in the Lotus Sutra, mindfulness means to be aware of the joy of abundance that's inherent in you. That's the teaching of the Lotus Sutra, which is called the One Vehicle. The unlimited gem is always already inherent to you. That was my answer. That's how it's different from regular understanding of mindfulness, which is to be aware of what's happening. But in the Lotus Sutra, to be aware of the abundance and joy. That's very different, right? Now let me show you how my answer is different from the answer from the AI. I typed in ChatGPT, how is mindfulness found in the Lotus Sutra? And ChatGPT gave this answer. It starts with a great paragraph. It says, in the Lotus Sutra, the term mindfulness does not appear in the same technical way it does in Theravada teachings. However, the spirit, function, and the practice of mindfulness are absolutely present, just expressed through Mahayana language, especially in the form of remembrance, attentiveness, faith, and continuous awareness of the Buddha. Below are the main ways of mindfulness appears in the Lotus Sutra. Let's see how that is different from my answer. It gives you a list of 6 points. One is the mindfulness as keeping the Buddha in mind, or in Japanese, Nembutsu. That's interesting. That's very different from my answer. An example, chapter 23, the Bodhisattva Medicine King. Yes, that's a chapter. The sutra says the practitioners must be mindful of the Buddha, mindful of the Dharma, mindful of the Sangha. This is classic mindfulness of the Buddha as a transformative mental state. So it points at the classical notion of the being aware of 3 treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. But 3 treasures is not just to be aware of. Is an object of our faith. We take refuge, full focus of devotion to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. So it's not quite as accurate, even though it covers a good point. Let's go to other faith, the thing. Let's see. Number 6, mindfulness as the inner Buddha nature. That's great. In Buddha nature, the term does not appear in the Lotus Sutra itself, but the concept is always already there throughout the Lotus Sutra. And it says, while the sutra does not explicitly say mindfulness of Buddha nature, that's great creativity of the ChatGPT. Its entire teachings assumes 3 points. By keeping the Dharma in mind, by dwelling in awareness of the Buddha, one reveals one's inner Buddhahood. This is the basis for later traditions, including Rishakosekai, that interprets mindfulness as being aware of one's Buddha nature and acting from it. Wow, you mentioned the Rishakosekai because I've been searching Rishakosekai and ChatGPT. But again, it's not quite as I want to emphasize as I did in the beginning of this video. By keeping the Dharma in mind, what does that mean? Dharma to me is the oneness between the oneness and difference of everyone. So the caring heart, that universal oneness, the Buddha nature, universally shared nature of compassionate heart, is expressed in so many different ways. Sometimes anger, sometimes being pissed, sometimes a caring heart, sometimes kindness, sometimes worries. All of these are expressions of the oneness of the nature of the caring heart, even though it kind of sounds like counterintuitive. But once you get to see that oneness between the oneness of the heart and the difference of the expression of the heart, that means to align your heart with the Dharma. Keep the Dharma in your heart. So that emphasis is missing, or that's my interpretation, which is very different from just saying, as AI said, by keeping Dharma in mind. Well, so what does this difference mean between my answer from a human and the answer from the ChatGPT AI? We see the difference, right? The reason why I don't use AI for my spiritual practice or spiritual intuition is that AI grabs information that are expressed and out there, right? But we humans are complicated, and our basis of a philosophical, spiritual imagination, intuition is unexpressed. The source of expression is very different. AI's source of expression is the expressed, what is already expressed. But the source of inspiration for humans like you and I is the unexpressed, which is the abundant, which is the kind of the universe itself, right? It's the unexpressible. That's what we are trying to express. So you are rich, always, already. You can use AI, but at the same time, remember, as you use AI, as I do as well, the inner nature that we have is always, already so much abundant. That's the message from the Lotus Sutra. It's been more than a year since I made a last YouTube video in this channel on Lotus Sutra. Thank you everyone for waiting for this moment. In this video, I would like to announce you that I will restart my video, and the goal of my this year, 2026, if you are already beyond that year, that's what happened in the channel. My goal is to finish all the chapters of Lotus Sutra. I think I was left off at chapter 19, and I have 9 more chapters to go to cover. So maybe 1 chapter every month. I will do that. I miss you. I miss having a conversation with you. I miss reading your comments and feedback, and how are you doing? How's your practice and learning of Lotus Sutra going for your life? So the reason why I had to put aside a YouTube was that after I finished my PhD at the University of Chicago back in summer 2023, I was assigned to become a minister of Rishaku Sekai Buddhist Center of Los Angeles. If you live in Los Angeles, I'd love to meet you. I'd love to learn with you and practice with you the Lotus Sutra. Let me know in comments or email us at info@rklabuddhistcenter.com, or find the nearest Dharma center of Rishaku Sekai Buddhist movement that I love about. So I'm a head minister of Los Angeles community, which is growing with so many Americans who are seeking a spiritual truth and spiritual community in the Buddhist context. So ministry has been making me very busy with my family and everything, but ministry is the one that makes me realize that, okay, the real field of the spirit of Lotus Sutra revives in the field of real human interaction rather than the intellectual understanding of the Lotus Sutra, which is the foundation, conceptual framework for you to learn and practice. But at the same time, unless you put that into practice, how to improve yourself, how to improve your relationship with people around you, things around you, from the viewpoint of the Lotus Sutra, you wouldn't understand the gist of the Lotus Sutra. In other words, once that practice starts with us, you find that great joy that I was talking about, mindfulness, in the Lotus Sutra. And you spread that joy and live out of that joy. That's how we do in the Lotus Sutra in our Risha Kosakai Buddhist movement, in my case, the Los Angeles community. So we've been doing the end of the year fundraising, and if you would like to help us reach the Kosaka Los Angeles community, you can help us by finding the link in the description box below. And the campaign continues until this month, which is the December 2025. I would appreciate any of the contribution so that I can keep going, because the Risha Kosaka Los Angeles has been my sponsor for this video and all other videos probably in the future. So helping Risha Kosakai with your monetary donation will help me to keep going, to provide the space for you and I to keep learning the Lotus Sutra and practice. And if you happen to stop by, if you don't live in Los Angeles, search Risha Kosaka Los Angeles, and please come to our service on Sunday from 10 a.m. 12 p.m. Great practice. So you're welcome. Please know that. So here's a list of the videos that I'll be doing for the future. Yes, as I said, Lotus Sutra chapters, and also videos that featured our new member who did the enshrinement of the Buddha image. That Buddha is a representation of the spirit of the Lotus Sutra. You know, I'll show you soon in the future videos. That's great. I hope you enjoy those videos. Interviewed with the members who had that enshrinement experience. And also other videos, new member, Yari, she's now a leader of a community. And my sound bath Buddhist meditation assistant and I are working on the podcast and the Lotus Sutra. I hope that will serve you to learn and inspire each other for the learning and practice of the Lotus Sutra and how that works in our everyday life. Yeah, these are the upcoming contents of the Lotus Sutra Lab videos for you.